Hey there everybody, Micah Curtis here, head of Sleeveless Comics, and I want to thank you all for your patience this month and waiting for an update for me on current goings-on. I'll be talking about everything that we have planned for 2021, and then a little bit more on why there really haven't been live streams or anything like that on this channel over the course of the last month. So, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was 3 Nights, 4 Days' progress. At this point, in which case I'm recording this on the 26th of February, the pencils on 3 Nights, 4 Days are completely finished. Preston Aceveto's job is done, and I couldn't be happier with what he's done for this book. This is a guy who is so talented, it's ridiculous. I'm of the opinion he's one of the best comic book artists working in comic books today, and it wasn't just a pleasure to work with him, it was an honor. And he is a guy who makes me better in regards to this, and I've learned quite a bit from him during this process, and how to structure panels, and how to pace, and do transitions a little bit better, things along those lines. But he is such an imaginative guy, and he's taken this story of mine, which was already good, because people had, read it and gave me feedback on it, and like, yeah, this is great stuff. He made it even better. And then Oliver has come along and done the same thing. He makes it even more awesome. I am of the opinion, and some might disagree with me, which you're more than welcome to. I think that Oliver's colors on Preston's pencils make his art the best it's ever looked. So this is a book that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. That even if we don't get to work together again past part 2, this one's going to be a pretty cherished memory for me. That's for sure. As for those colors that I mentioned, Oliver has done a tremendous job. Another guy I really want to work with again in the future. Schedules permitting and things like that. He's amazing at what he does. And he only has 6 pages left as of today. So, on top of that, I went ahead and had Eric Weathers do half of the letters, just so I could look at the first 22 pages of the book and see whether or not there were changes that need to be made, or so on and so forth, stuff to be taken out, blah, blah, blah. And the letters look really good too. We've come up with a cool format that will definitely complement the style of the book. I know Eric was really excited to get to work on this book as well. He had actually volunteered himself to letter it way back when it was in concept. And I love working with Eric. He's such an easy guy to get along with, easy guy to work with. So the letters are halfway done. Not counting the letters, basically this book is at 95% completion. And that's script, colors, pencils. So I am expecting that Oliver will probably have the colors of the last 6 pages to me very soon. Once he does, we're immediately going to go to print. I will probably have the proof file done that night, because I already have a temporary file saved with everything that I have so far. Not to mention, we also have the art books, which Hatman and I are going to be formatting those and making them look nice and pretty here soon. So we're pretty excited, to say the least. One thing to say on top of that is, again, I cannot wait to deliver this to you guys. And we're going to go ahead and start sending stuff out as soon as we can. If you want to back the book, you haven't yet, please do so. I recommend picking up a tier with the posters. There's still original art that can be purchased as well, so definitely do that. Now, the question, of course, with part 1 coming out soon, when is part 2 going to start? Well, here's where we're at with it. Preston has a ton of stuff that he's going to be doing this year, but 3 Nights, 4 Days Part 1 is going to be part of what he's working on. Now, the conversation that we had about it, he detailed some really awesome stuff that he's going to be doing this year that I'm going to try to help promote him as best as I can, because I really believe in what he's doing. I believe in the guy. He's one of the most talented dudes that I've ever worked with anywhere. But as of right now, what we're looking at is starting the campaign for 3 Nights, 4 Days, Part 2, much later in the year. So probably late fall, maybe early winter. And then the book will come out and be finished in 2022, probably early 2022. As of right now, it looks like the whole team will come back for it. If there's any changes, of course, I will let you know. But we're all excited to do it. The script is already finished, so that's good. I finished the script, the whole thing. I did it all in one swoop. So when it's all done, you'll have 2 graphic novels, 88-ish pages, well, more like 90-something pages, right in front of you. I have no doubt that this is going to be a book to remember. I couldn't be more excited. And then we might do other stuff with it in the future. We might do maybe a hardcover, collected edition, sometime next year. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. But regardless, it's an awesome comic book. I couldn't be more proud of it. It's the biggest crowdfunding campaign I've had to date, and you guys made it happen for me. You guys made it happen for Preston, for Oliver, for Eric, for Hatman. Seriously, thank you all for this from the bottom of our hearts. Now, from here on in, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about what Sleeveless Comics has planned for 2021 in regards to comic books, and then I'll talk about the show. So, what are the books that we have planned for the year of 2021? At least, what are the campaigns that you can look that will be started this year? Well, the first one that you will probably see is going to be Englewood Book 2. The concept phase, which was never going to be that big in the first place, is almost finished, and then production is going to start soon after. In fact, the images that you're seeing in front of you right now are from that concept phase, where you're seeing brand new characters, one of whom is Elijah's best friend, one of whom is his girlfriend, and then one is the actual gang leader of the Kings, El Jefe, who is Carlos's boss. And we all hate Carlos here, which is good, because I wanted him to be a villain that everybody hates. So, mission accomplished, that's for sure. But anyway, we're looking to start the campaign, though, in the spring, and the book would probably be finished, I want to say, at the latest, sometime in the fall. We'll be talking, because of the delays that we had last time, we'll be having a conversation as a team where we're talking about the expectations, about time on this one. Now, the good thing is that everybody's in a much more stable place than they were when we did Englewood Book 1. Because every delay that happened for that book was because of life stuff. It had nothing to do with the art or anything like that. It was all just stuff that it was the victim of circumstance, unfortunately. And again, I can't apologize enough for the wait for that comic. But I'm still very happy with how it came out. In print, it looks fantastic. So, let's keep going on what's going to be going on with that particular book, though. The size of the book will be around 66 pages. It's going to finish the Born in Blood arc, which started with book 1, and basically is going to close the book on the origin story of the Saint of Englewood. It's going to show you some pretty cool stuff. It's going to introduce you more to his social circle. It's going to introduce you more to the gym and its significance in Elijah's life. It's going to introduce the team that gets assembled to basically be his backup, so on and so forth. And this, of course, will lay the ground for everything Englewood in the future, which this is a book I see myself writing for the next 10 years. As long as we can keep selling copies, as long as you guys keep coming back for more, we will do our very best to make sure that we're giving you an awesome street-level story that has really cool elements to it. The arc that is planned after we finish this book is a massive one, which will again continue to open the city up for everyone. Not to mention there are other books planned as well for next year that are going to be Englewood side stories that tell stories of other characters in the same vein that a couple other books I'll be talking about will do the same for Project Lazarus. I'm a big fan of side stories. I'm a big fan of miniseries. I think that they have a really cool purpose. I'd like to do more of them. So, needless to say, a lot of cool stuff coming on that front. Keep in mind, again, this will be a bigger book. The art team is going to remain the same, but the color style is going to be a little bit more like the Englewood Peregrine poster. A lot of people seem to really like the way that looked on Brian's style. So, if that is the way that you dig things, do let us know. And I think it's going to really look really good. I mean, basically, we've got a comic book that is, Daredevil by way of Baki the Grappler, or pick your street level Poison, really, when it comes to that sort of a feel. And we're going to continue to give you a story that packs a lot of punch, pun totally intended. Now, Project Lazarus. This is the campaign that some people close to me have even said that they think is cursed. But I have been busting my ass to try to break this curse. And I have to say, what is coming out of it is going to be better than what was originally planned. The art team on this one is not completely set, but I do have a new penciler / inker on this comic. I'm not going to reveal who he is, but you are seeing some of his artwork in front of you right now. And he has brought a character, one of the 3 main characters of Project Lazarus, Sigma, to life in a way that I was genuinely shocked in regards to the level of quality I was seeing in front of me. So, yeah, it's a it's a big deal to me. It's something that I'm a little nervous about, but at the same time, this book was the first one I wrote. It was supposed to be the first one published, but it fell through. And now with this new artist attached, I think that given how hungry he is, he's going to really deliver in regards to results and work ethic and everything that I need from him. So, and then I'm hoping to keep him on for the long term. So, it's going to be a pretty awesome series. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Project Lazarus, it is going to be not quite a direct sequel to 3 Nights, 4 Days, but it comes afterwards in the timeline where you will have these 3 characters that are part of a CIA black op to basically battle the forces of hell as they continue to try to invade Earth in one way or another. So, it's going to basically be, well, if you've never read the book Excalibur from Marvel, which was originally written by Chris Claremont, and then Warren Ellis had a great run on the book as well, which, oddly enough, I think Mike S. Miller did the inks or colors for that book at one point. I can't remember. But, somebody can ask him if they want to. He doesn't like me, so he wouldn't tell me if I asked him. Anywho, the book is almost completely scripted. I've rewritten the whole thing to basically improve upon the original outline that I had. The page count will be 66 pages. And then on top of that, there will be an art book available to purchase. One thing I wouldn't mind doing for it as well is a bestiary, just because of the demons that exist in this particular universe. But that might be something that would have to be a stretch goal, because to do that, we would need... I would want to have several different artists do designs for it. I would love to see, of course, my current artist on the book do some, but I would also like to bring in other guys I know that do great monster designs. Preston is obviously, another pick. Bogdan Digital Art, who I'll be talking about here in just a second, would be another great guy to have come in and do, stuff for a bestiary. Like, that would be sick. So, that's what I would like to do for that as well. But either way, I don't know when that campaign will go live. I don't really have a date for it yet. I will probably finish the script within the next week, because I've been writing it piece by piece, but I'm kind of on fire right now, so it's going to get done. And the direction I've taken with it, I'm very excited about. But anyway, that is going to be another one that's coming out this year. I am bound and determined to at least get the campaign started this year. Bound and determined to get this new artist his his first book and teach him the ropes on how to do this, and really set the standard for him, because if this book is a success, this is going to be my Invincible, in a sense. If you've ever read Kirkman's Invincible, it's the same thing with me. It's like, this is the kid that I would love to work with on this long term, So, needless to say, he's already left quite an impression. All right, Englewood Peregrine. So, that campaign is planned to begin after Englewood Book 2 fulfills in the fall. I've talked to Optimus about this. I've talked about to Xavier about this. That is what we're currently planning. I've done everything that I can to work it out with them to make sure that's happening. I'm going to be trying to help them as much as possible to get their comics done and kind of help them get where I'm at in regards to the flow and timing of getting these things done. So I'll be working a lot with Graded in the future to give them a hand, just because they're my friends. I want to make sure that they're succeeding, because they're a great team. They've got a lot of great ideas for comic books. It's just about getting the business end of things, squared away. And as some people can tell you, behind the scenes, I am all business. I'm not really trying to goof around too much. I'm very interested in, getting shit done. So, hell, you could just ask Hatman that. But anyway, the subtitle for the book will be Dark Night in the Windy City, Night spelled N-I-G-H-T. The script has already been edited for by Piper for continuity. So continuity between the two universes is set and respected and good. And Optimus, Piper, and Xavier have all approved it. So they're good with it. They think it's awesome. I think it's awesome, but I'm a little biased. So that's the exciting part. We have not chosen an artist for this book yet, because people are going to be busy, But we do have a few in mind. We do have a few people that we would like to do this. We just have to approach them and make sure that their schedules would be clear at the time to go ahead and get started. So once we have that, then you guys will know. But we do have a personal note from all of us. This is a special book. Aside from the fact that I think the script is really good, aside from Piper and Xavier and Optimus being as excited about it as they are, the big thing for me is I still remember doing a live stream, I think it was on this channel, where we were talking about it, and I unveiled the colored version of it. I don't remember if I unveiled it before Optimus did. I can't remember. Or we did it together. I just don't remember. But I do remember Piper, Xavier, and Optimus being in the chat, and the chat was on fire for what was going on. And lo and behold, people are like, this needs to be a book. And I'm like, Optimus, you say write the thing, I'll write the thing, and we'll get it started. And bam, it was born that night. So for you guys to demand this as much as you did means a lot to us. It means that what we're doing, not just in having cool characters and stuff like that, but what we're trying to do and provide you guys the comic books that you've been deprived of from the mainstream industry, and you're still vibing with that despite all the nonsense that goes on the internet. We appreciate all of you, seriously. Finally, The First Servant. An artist is already attached. Bogdan Digital Art will be doing this book with me. He's already done concept work, as you can see in front of you. I'm very impressed with all of it. He's bringing a lot of time and effort just into concept. And the fact that he's doing that is, it tells me something about how much and how badly he wants to do this comic book. So that's exciting. The script, though, is only about 20% finished. I got a lot to still do on it. But the book is planned to be around 60 plus pages. And I will probably not launch the campaign until much later in the year, depending on what happens. Could come earlier. It just depends on when I start writing the script, where how quickly I get done with it, and whenever Bogdan's ready to get started. So, the big gimmick on this one is that it's going to be in the same universe as Englewood, Project Lazarus, and any other superhero book that is published by Sleeveless Comics in the Sleeveless universe. So basically it's canon to Three Knights, it's canon to... Three Knights takes place beforehand, but you know what I mean. It's canon to Englewood, it's canon to Project Lazarus. And like I said, there's other superhero stuff I have planned for this universe as well. So, anyway, what the main purpose of this book, beyond just being a great horror story, is that I want to introduce other supernatural creatures like vampires into the universe. I want to continue to broaden that out, because the unique thing about the Sleeveless universe is that it is basically a standard comic book universe, but instead of the foundations being, you know, the history of comic books and things like that, I wanted to basically have the foundations of my universe contain a portal to hell. They're horror-based. Horror is actually a big influence on my work. And I said to myself, it's like, what happens if you start taking a little bit more horror and you introduce it to this sort of a universe? What happens when you start playing with madness, if we were to quote Iron Maiden, you know? So that's the direction I want to go, and that's, I think, something that resounds with people, because it's different. It's not what anybody else is doing, and I'm very, very certain I can make it work without much problem. So yeah. Needless to say, all 4 of these campaigns likely will start this year. All of them have different art teams. They're all going to be written by me. So whenever the campaign starts, keep this in mind. However long one is taking will not affect the release of the others. So, if Three Nights, 4 Days Part 2, that campaign is running, but Project Lazarus is still being worked on, Three Nights is not taking away from Project Lazarus, you know, just so people understand what the logistics are, you know, or Englewood is not taking away from Project Lazarus, you know, so on and so forth. Like, these are all capable of being produced simultaneously. And that's the great thing about me being the writer, is that I can direct these teams myself instead of, you know, just managing one campaign at a time, because, to be honest with you, managing one Indiegogo campaign is not hard. You know, it's just not. Once you get the hang of it, there's no reason why, if you want to start your own publishing company, that you can't just, you know, start. Do things through crowdfunding to get the initial sales, and then go forward from there. It makes no sense to me that you can't have multiple offerings, according to some people. So, but I'm going to. And they're all going to be great. And I'm going to continue to work hard to make sure that they are the best that they can be. Final note on the whole thing about Late Night Micah. The main reason that I have basically stopped doing the show is I am very burnt out on promoting comic books. There's been a lot of stupid drama. We'll just put it that way. A lot of stupid drama. A lot of people saying stupid shit that was completely untrue. And I thought to myself, man, I don't want to promote these people. I just don't. So what I'm basically doing is saying to myself, if I'm going to promote anybody, it's going to be a book I believe in. You know, it's going to be a book that I want to buy myself, and I want other people to know it exists. Anything beyond that, don't care. Because it's my company, damn it. I know that sounds very Vince McMahon of me, but it's the truth. So, with all that said, that's basically what the future holds. Whenever we come back with Late Night Micah, and I start promoting more comic books, you guys will know. It will be somebody that is a friend of mine, somebody that I like, somebody whose book I'm interested in, somebody who, you know, cares about comic books, wants to make more comics, wants to give people good stuff, and if you're not able to do that, or you're just going to mire yourself in Twitter drama instead of trying to be a productive person and try to be part of a creator culture, don't want you around. Just no. Not interested. So, the good news is Sleeveless Comics moves on. It will continue to move on. So keep an eye out. Watch this space for more news on 3 Nights, 4 Days Part 1. And until next time, my name is Micah Curtis, the head of Sleeveless Comics. You have yourself a great day.